still don't like it. Maybe you should hold on.
There you go. Yeah.
Colette and the root cellar.
We're gonna head right now. It'll be just 3 shakes of an arm's tail.
We're rolling.
So when did you
Whoa. Yes, madams. My name is Son. It means the day, the horizon, the heavens, the universe. That's my Nuxalk name, and my English name is Jessy.
My name is Alisha Ducharme. I don't really know what it all means. It doesn't mean all really great stuff. And right behind us is our house that we're building here in the Sahuk. Our pit house. It's kind of hard to tell what it is now because it's just been covered with bark, but underneath it's saplings, small trees, all leaned up in like a dome type structure. And it's where we're going to live this winter.
Oh.
It's a traditional style house, and we'll be just stockpiling all of our food through the winter and hunting. There's plenty of game here, like animals and deer and mountain goats, and lots of wildlife here.
Did some elder teach you to do this?
Just a lot of it is going on our own feelings, but a lot of the teachings, as for myself as a Nuxalk person, I've learned from the elders, just different things and stories, and I've always been very connected with the land. But for the most part, me and Alisha are just doing it, and doing our best at what we're attempting to do, and I think one of the biggest reasons we're doing it is to get returned to the land, and to get away from all the cluttered up life of living in what is called civilization. But I agree with that.
And more important than that, the reason we chose this place is that it's supposed to be clear-cut logged here in the next few years. They want to build a road this coming spring. So we built it here because we want to see it protected. We don't want to see it destroyed. So we're hoping that by living here permanently, we can help to do that.
And do you ever get bothered by the police or anything?
We haven't been bothered. I wouldn't say that. The police came out here once with some Ministry of Forestry people to talk about an incident that happened last week, which I don't know if you want me to go into now.
No, of course.
But I think as a Nuxalk person myself, I'd just really like to send a message out to people as a sovereign nation. The Nuxalk Nation has never signed any treaties or any papers in any form giving away their land, and forestry companies and logging companies are coming in and just saying, okay, well, we're going to log this, you have no say. And I am a sovereignist of the Nuxalk Nation, and out here, when people come, we introduce them and remind them they're no longer on Canadian soil, they're on Nuxalk territory. And just everything we're doing out here and everything we stand for is the way that the Nuxalk ancestors have lived for thousands of years, and we just really like to continue that lifestyle and that way of life, and move away from being dependent on going to the grocery store and just learning to harvest and to collect things from the land and more food from the land, and hopefully eventually we'll be away from that whole depending on going to the store for a loaf of bread or anything like that, or and for the most part having food that we need. It's all here. Everything we need is here, like the trees and the medicines are all here, and we're really out here in a good way, and we really don't want to see any logging be done here, because it would just really wreck our lifestyle. I mean, Alisha, the lifestyle that we're choosing here. And,
as well as the lifestyle of everything else that lives here.
Exactly. And all the animals.
And so the pit house is the stand against that.
It is
something permanent.
And positive for your culture as well.
This is one thing for them to take you out of a tree if you're in a tree platform when they've come in to log, but it's another thing for them to take you out of your home and say that, you know, you can't be here. You know, it's a whole nother issue. And it's hard. It's really hard, and we're always asking and reaching out for people who would like to come and support in any way they can, and any kind of donations, or anybody wants to come out and do some hands-on work, it's more than welcome to come out and to leave a little part of their medicine for the valley, and to gain some medicine from the valley as well, and to help grow as a person as well as a spiritual being.
Wow. Certainly has been rewarding for me to come.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you too.
It's not every day you get to ride in a canoe. I got to ride in a canoe today. It was of some help in bringing supplies up, and I'll tell you, something I'll never forget.
So did you get any shots of the area?
Oh, the whole way coming up, we got the whole inside of the valley.
Oh, great.
It was great. And then being here, some of the stuff we got. There's our pilot right there.
Very boat captain.
Thank God for him.
So to your friends that will watch this, Dion will watch this, and Tara will watch this, and you can say a wee hello to them.
Aw.
Hello.
Hi. We love you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for sending out the wine, Tara.
Thanks for the cutting board and all the other good stuff.
Thanks for the good thoughts.
Yeah.
And do they get to see you two having a kiss?
What an instigator. Good man.
What's he gonna ask for?
That's why I brought him.
Talk 'em strong, talk 'em forever.
Fresh gas. Or my one suggestion would be maybe mix your fuel a little bit richer.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
keep the sucker
thing,
smoking.
Yeah.
You know, if you need oil, we got.
So this is just probably a good portion of the wood that we'll be collecting for the winter supply, but we have no idea how much wood we're actually going to be using through the winter, so we're just making sure we get lots, like more than enough.
And how did you collect all this?
This has all been collected from like as far as down the river, a kilometer, and up the river, like whatever, like 400 or 500 meters, and up on the hill, and it's all been collected with the power saw, and the power tools that we're using is just for the firewood, and that's it. Everything else that we've done is all been done by hand, and hand tools and axes and adzes and hand saws, but this is all firewood that we really probably couldn't have done without the use of a power saw. And that's the only thing that we've been using, other than the boats that come periodically, like maybe once every month or 2 weeks or something, that bring in supplies. But then once we come back next month, we'll be essentially being here for 6 months without any boats coming.
What sort of communication will we have with the mainland?
We'll have communication with a radio phone, but it'll be like maybe once or every month or 2 months or something. We'll probably call home for Christmas, because they're very expensive calls and cost a lot of money that we don't really have in our budget too, but it's more or less of an emergency kind of thing. We maybe call home for Christmas and stuff, but other than that, it's just there for emergencies.
Are you happy living here?
Oh, very happy. Yes, I'm very, very proud to be back on the land the way my ancestors have lived in the past, and doing the best that I can to do things in a respectful way. And each one of the trees that we've used for our house have all been taken in a very respectful way, and there's been a prayer said and offerings given of either sage or tobacco, or leave a few strands of our hair at the base of every tree, and when they come down we sing a song and we say a prayer, and it takes a lot longer, but we have like much more love and respect in that house when it's put up. And the only thing that's different, that isn't traditional about that house is we've used nails, and we're going to be having a wood stove, and everything else is traditional style. And it's just a lot of respect and time gone into it, and love. Yeah.
I've noticed that a lot of these logs are sort of, they don't have their bark on them.
Yeah.
I don't know much about logging or building myself.
Well, all the ones that are on the house are essentially peeled because they hold the moisture in if you don't peel them. But a lot of the ones that we're using on the woodshed, we're just leaving the bark on them because they're not going to be underground or anything. But all the ones that are on the house, we've peeled them, just so that the moisture can be released and that they won't rot as fast. But if you leave the bark on, all the moisture gets trapped in there and then they rot much faster. But the same with the wood. We've been trying to stockpiling this wood for like the last 3 months now, and it's been like a lot of work.
And that's where people coming up and helping can come up and help chop the wood.
There's lots of things like our root cellar needs to be built, and the roof of this woodshed needs to be built yet. And there's just all kinds of different things that could be partaked in, like a smokehouse and outhouse, and just so many different things that need to be built. And next year we plan on building a tree house up in the canopy of the trees for a summer home, because the pit house is essentially just a wintering home. But in the spring and the summer months, when it's really nice and warm, you want to be someplace where there's windows and where you can kind of enjoy the nice sunshine. But that's another occupation all in itself, is to build a house way up in the trees, and to have the supplies and the climbing gear and stuff that we don't have. But this is something that is in our minds to continue building, as well as in this valley, as in other valleys, to take what we've learned and to continue building in the Nuxalk territory more of these houses all over the place, because I feel that is the only way that we can stop them, is by living there and getting off the reserve and getting away from it all and just getting back to where we used to live. That's the strongest part, I think, as a people.
Magic.
Oi.
Magic. And this is a magical place.
Yeah.
Very spiritual place.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah.